Yo, what's good, bro? I hope everybody's been having a decent day today, but I've come here to make your day a little bit better. I come here bearing a plethora of gifts for you. And you know it's gonna be a good one today because I got the Hollow Knight music in the background, and you should know exactly what that means. That means I'm here to drop some more indies on you, gang. And I got some very, very, very special ones for you today. Probably some ones that you may or may not have heard of, but we're gonna start this one off pretty easy, right? We're gonna start it off with one that you probably know about already, right? You probably seen it around. We're gonna start it off with VA Proxy. And to be honest, I actually wanted to talk about this game sooner, but you know, it just slipped my mind. And if you haven't heard of this one, oh bro, you're most definitely missing out. Now, if you watch my content, you know by now that I love Nier Automata, I love Devil May Cry, I love God of War, I love hack and slash and character action games and action RPG games with those types of stylistic elements. And this, my friend, is a culmination of all those aspects. And please don't be fooled by the fact that this game only has a demo out, because before you know it, you will check your hours on the game and see that it is extended well past the 10-hour mark. The combat in this game is absolutely one of a kind. Like, this game specifically leans very, very far into like the parry system, right? And just your defensive mechanics and when to go on offense. It's a very hard to master combat system, but it rewards players that are very like precise with their inputs. And what I really like about this game specifically is that they do it in a way where it's not artificial difficulty. And a way you can like describe this, I guess, if you want to like compare it to like a different game, well, I guess you could take like Sekiro for an example, right? And then take Nier Automata, and then take the stylistic flair of Devil May Cry, not necessarily just like the combat mechanics. Maybe there might be like a few references here and there to DMC with the moveset, but mainly I'm getting like Nier Automata vibes from this, and definitely Sekiro with how like reliant you have to be on the parry, which I really, really like. Fuse those together and I feel like that perfectly like describes the core basis for this gameplay, because I will not lie, it is very unique on its own. And for a very, very brief basic explanation for the story, basically you awake in this world that's like, it appears to be already dead and just currently rotting. There's overgrowth with like the vegetation, but you still get this feeling that the world is just dying. And like when you wake up, right, you see that all these ancient robots and like machines that were once said to be capable of bringing about like war and destruction, they're awaking too. And I'm not gonna lie, they're just on demon timing, bro. They want you dead. But you also have like this companion type of thing. It kind of reminds me of Pod 042 from like Nier Automata, you know, 2B's little robot pod companion thing. And it also reminds me of like the Drifter's little like pod thing. I don't know what it's called in Hyper Light Drifter, but that too, the one that like heals you and stuff. Yeah, it reminds me of that a lot. I like when games do that, and it like centers the camera around them. It's just really cool when they do that. But interesting story details aside and all the little nerd explanations of the combat, the really cool thing about this game, the thing that this game prides itself on, is the fact that you can parry everything. And if you have seen this game, whether you recognize that it was VA Proxy or not, chances are you saw the clip of them just straight up parrying a nuke. Like, bro, straight out of Spawn, you can take like 30 paces to the right and find yourself in this corridor or something, just randomly fighting this teleporting mecha that has a gigantic scythe. Like, what? There are mecha enemies in this game that shoot out missiles, and you can time yourself like catching the missile, riding on the missile, and redirecting it back into the enemy. Like, it's not some scripted sequence or anything. You're manually doing all of this. Bro, just cut the middleman and just go download the free demo right now. It recently had an update, so there's probably a bunch of other stuff in it that I just haven't mentioned. I know there's like hundreds of things inside the demo alone that I've experienced for myself that like I can't even begin to fit into this video. So yeah, just go ahead and try VA Proxy, bro. Free demo. But I will say, if you're not using like, I don't even know, Xbox controller and controller support is iffy for you, bro, I don't know if I can help you, bro. You might have to download DS4 Windows and try to play it that way. But yeah, 100% give it a shot. Next game. Now, you've heard of Crosscode, right? Beautiful top-down Metroidvania action RPG game. The sprite work is just, Honestly, it might be some of my favorite sprite work of all time. Of course, like, you know, I love Hyperlight Drifter and I love Rivals of Aether's like sprite work, but this game is very, very, very special, right? Well, you know, the team just so happens to be making another game, you know, and I guess it's okay. This game looks like everything I've ever wanted. So allow me to introduce you to Alabaster Dawn. I didn't even think it was possible, but they improved on the sprite work tenfold. They added a plethora of new mechanics to the game. It's more expansive somehow, right? A lot of people didn't like the late game puzzles from Crosscode, and they even said that they were planning on toning down the puzzles in this game. So the combat is just gonna be absolutely amazing. And if you've played Crosscode, you know that this game is going to be so great that I can't even properly explain to people how great this game is gonna be. You just have to know. And it didn't change one of my favorite aspects from Crosscode, and that's the parry mechanic. It makes a return here, and it looks just as good as it did in Crosscode. So now you're probably wondering, like, what's the catch? Well, we don't have a release date. Next game. All right. This next one needs no introduction. We got Rivals of Aether 2, the long-awaited sequel to the great indie plat fighter Rivals of Aether. I had the pleasure of playing the demo with online features. As of right now, the demo is still up, but it has no online features, and the game is like not out yet. But by the time this video is up, it should be out because it drops tomorrow as of the time of recording this. And I'm not gonna lie, bro, this game is one of the funnest plat fighters that I've ever played, and I actually think I enjoy it a little bit more than Rivals of Aether 1. If you've played Project M or Project Plus, or at least seen gameplay of it, I feel like it fits in the vein of that as far as just speed and the direction that they were taking the game. And honestly, they did a great job. They added some new mechanics that I have not seen in any other plat fighter as well. When you grab somebody, you have your default pummel, right? And you have a special pummel. And the way that teching out of grabs works in this game, you can obviously like grab clash, and that is effectively a tech. That's just a thing within plat fighters. But the way actual grab taking, aka when you mash out of a grab in a plat fighter, works is more akin to a traditional fighter. Not in the sense that it's like y'all both grab at the exact same time. It's more in the sense of where like you choose a specific button at a specific time, and that effectively takes the grab instead of mashing out of the grab. It's just a button this time. But that's only if they choose to do a normal pummel or a special pummel. They pretty much just have a free throw, which you already have from the get-go if you choose not to pummel in any plat fighter anyway. But that's enough of me yapping about grab taking in this game. The cool thing is the special grab. If you grab somebody and press the B button or whatever button you have bind it to your specials, you effectively get a special pummel, and this applies different effects depending on the character that you're on. If you're Zetterburn, you apply a flame effect on the opponent. If you're Rano, you get your poison stacks up. If you're Loxodont, you drag them across the ground and get a magma stock towards your magma like install type of thing. There's also a new special get up attack that changes depending on the character you're playing. There's a special ledge get up as well, and it's honestly pretty good. There's a lot of utility for it. And if you've played Rivals of Aether 1, I will assure you, bro, Raster is still broken. He's like top 2 now because honestly, in my opinion, I think Maple is better than Raster. Zetterburn is absolutely still ignorant. Claren, you'll run into the same brain dead Clarence that just extend hitboxes. You won't even know what I'm talking about if you didn't play Rivals 1, bro. But just expect the same old stuff. The only thing now is the fact that Rano plays like Sheik, and I absolutely love that because he's melee Sheik, but like he has a spike, and that's just brain dead. His frame data is insane. And there's some stuff for the casual side of the player base too. I don't know why you like get heavily into this game if you weren't like tapped in with plat fighters anyways, but you know, there is definitely there. So yeah. And they also plan to implement Steam Workshop in the future, aka like in the next couple of years, but that's actually pretty good time. Like that's a pretty good time window. So yeah, bro, go buy Rivals of Aether 2. It has the sequel seal of approval. It hits all the check marks. Next game. Now last but most definitely not least, we have Mariachi Legends. And you know me, bro, one thing that I do love is a very good Metroidvania, and another thing that I really do love is amazing pixel graphics, you know, beautiful art style. And another thing that I really love are my air launchers. And to think that we've been given less than 10 minutes of gameplay and I've seen all of that, is pretty insane if you ask me. Because to be honest with you, bro, we have like a plethora of Metroidvanias, right? But I've never seen one that is this combat focused. I mean, you can see like glimpses of the potential of it with Mega Man ZX, but those are like, you know, a few glimpses, like few and far between, like on certain boss fights. But nah, this game just straight up has an air launcher with links and special moves and executions. Like, honestly, bro, to see a 2D type of character action game and have it be a Metroidvania on top of that, so it's definitely going to be expansive. Now that is pretty ambitious. And oh my gosh, she's so bad. And the way that they like animate characters and have them interact with each other like within the game, it kind of reminds me of Katana Zero a little bit, with like how they give certain quirks to them. I don't know. I just like when games do that specific style. But yeah, no, I'm very hyped to see more from this game, to be honest. They've shown me great potential. And to be honest, there are some other ones that I'm holding out a little bit on y'all for. But in the near future, you shall see them. For now, that brings us to the next section of the video, my personal favorite section of the video, the part of the video where I put you onto some new songs, bands, or just artists in general that you may have not heard of before to spice up your palette a little bit, or just give you a break from listening to the same old stuff over and over again in case you're bored. Oh yeah, and before I forget, bro, I dropped a little EP, right? It's 6 songs, link in the description below, no big deal. Please go listen to it right now. Anyways, enough plugging, let's get right into it, bro. And let me paint you a little I decided to recently crack open my dusty Discover Weekly. I haven't even used it in like almost over a year probably, and I found something very disappointing. I found that all of it was like breakcore, and there were 3 hyperpop songs for some unknown reason. But in the midst of the fodder, right, I managed to find another gem. I got into the mic for like dramatic effect. Anyways, I managed to find Peace, and I'm not gonna lie, gang, she's absolutely amazing. And I try not to compare artists too often. I try to do that sparingly, and I try to at least be on the nose with it, but I had to just this once, bro. She gives me major Clairo vibes in her vocal performance and how she layers vocals. Now, the beat selection is definitely drastically different because A, they're 2 different artists that go for 2 different things, and B, Clairo's production value is much higher for obvious reasons. But nah, trust me, twin, she's got it, bro. If you don't believe me, listen to Converse. Stellar vocal performance aside, because you already know, like, the vocal performance has to be heavenly for me to glaze it, right? Her musicality on this V is just it's top notch. For the first like 20 seconds, the song always starts off pretty, you know, tame, pretty normal, right? But then you start to notice her flow structure with her singing. It's actually pretty decently rare. And then when you get to the parts of the song that are like layered, she always sings in this super soft voice. So it's always nice to like hear that layering combined with it, because she doesn't spam like layered vocals. And then when you hear the backing vocals on top of all of that, it just makes for like a very well put together song every time. So yeah, for sure give her a listen, bro. Shout out to Peace for being the only artist in my Discover Weekly that I enjoy listening to this time around. Next up, we have Subi Club. Y'all know about Subi Club, right? If you don't, well, you're definitely missing out, gang. Subi Club does something that I like to call genre moshing. Not necessarily like having a song that has multiple different genre flips. It has songs that have fusions of genres, and then it flips the genre mid-song into another fusion of like 3 different genres. And if that sounds crazy, then, well, that's because it is. This is a textbook example of how to do hyperpop so right. They do hyperpop so well to the point where I honestly wouldn't even call it hyperpop, just because of so many elements of different types of rock and just different types of music and electric in the songs they make. Like when you listen closely, you can hear different jazz progressions. You can of course hear the rock that gets straight in your face on different breaks. Speaking of breaks, there's D&B breaks in it. There's like lo-fi breaks. The vocal delivery varies from just singing to rapping to yelling, like dog, it's everything. I also love how like in between moments in like the intense parts of the song, they use Botanica. If you don't know, Botanica is like a genre. It's relatively new, I believe. I could be wrong. Maybe it was like super obscure a few years ago, but they use Botanica in between the intense moments to raise it back up with like, you know, the warm elements of it, those like ASMR-y like little crisp sounds that Botanica has, and goes right back into another section of the song song, and that's just an amazing way to bridge. My only issue with Subi Club though is the fact that they only have 2 songs out. That's an absolute crime, bro. Like, you can't be doing this like that. But I will say this, bro, the production value of their music and how their music videos come out, absolutely insane. That music video for Laced Up was amazing. Makes up for it. You can see where the effort goes into. You can see why it takes so long. So they definitely get a pass in that regard, right? They only have 2 songs out, Burbank House and Laced Up. Both of them are amazing songs that I can't glaze enough and praise enough. So 100% go listen to Subi Club, bro. You can be one of the first ones to find them. And next up, we got my dogs, Paris, Texas. I love Paris, Texas, bro. If you can't tell, I'm super excited. First things first, I gotta recommend their latest album, Mid-Air. I don't even know where to start with like song recommendations, bro. I guess listen to Lana Del Rey first. Like, that song is that song is insane. You got Sean Jarrett, you got Everybody Safe Until, you got D&D featuring Kenny Mason. You already know how I feel about Kenny Mason, bro. You got Bullet Man, like just listen to the whole album. I ain't even finna cap, bro. They got a new single out called Rock Out. You can listen to that too. I don't even know how to explain it, bro. Rap and rock fusion, just like aficionados. They're geniuses. And then on Lana Del Rey, you got a crazy rock break that's like indie, but it has like grunge elements at the same time. And then at the end of the song, they do a complete switch. And then it turns into Rage. And then they just outro it that way. Like, huh? They're just playing with the progressions of the song. They don't even care anymore. It's crazy. And then they switch it up on the album, and you have songs where it's just straight through hip-hop, just bars the whole time. And closed caption is what I'm talking about. The song closed caption, straight sliding. Full English is also a great song on there too. That song is just fun. It's a funny song as well. Like, I don't even know what to say anymore. Like, the whole discography is hard, bro. Just go listen to those niggas, bro. Paris, Texas. Just go listen to them, bro. They round out a playlist like so well, and they also rounded out this video pretty well, if I do say so myself. I had a lot of fun making this one, even though it was agonizing to an extent because my PC was screaming at me the entire time, but I do love these little yap sessions that we have. And before you click off, could I interest you in joining the official Canon Discord server? Link in the description below. We do have crab legs. Also, comment down below your indie recommendations as well. They could be songs or games. I don't care. I just like getting put onto new stuff. Matter of fact, scratch that. Recommend me some like obscure anime or manga. Like, just give me anything, bro. It could be anything. I love all types of media, which is likely the reason why I yap too much and I can't properly end video.
Up in here with my tool, they gon' find you in the ditch, yeah. Straight for high rule, you not from me, you a glitch, yeah. Man of my rules, running with the misfits, yeah. Do not misclick, that's gon' get you hit quick, yeah. Death on death, this God, ain't no variation, it's Lord X Lord. I keep prepared, I saw an X out of Claude. My name Lucy, when I talk, you know.